Hello everybody, I'm Pat Sherwood. Welcome inside the CrossFit Update Studios. Today I'm joined by Emily Bridgers, 2-time Games athlete that we find once again at the top of the leaderboard worldwide after 16.1. Emily, thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
So you usually do extremely well in the open. Everybody knows that. But you've never had a first place finish worldwide. You've been very close on 15.1 and 12.3. You were second place worldwide, but now you've got a number 1. How does that feel?
Feels great. I mean, being number 1 in the world at anything, I think would feel good. In the world of CrossFit, it's not a huge accomplishment, but I think it's pretty cool.
Well, trust somebody very far from number 1. I think it's a great accomplishment. So to get that kind of a crazy score, 354 repetitions, what was your strategy going into that?
I set some pacing strategies going in. I knew that a 20-minute workout could be long and maybe even a little bit boring. You might lose what's going on in the middle of it. I really like to kind of strategize and almost play a game with myself. So I just set goal paces for each round to hit 12 rounds plus some change. And I set them to be a little bit conservative to where I thought I could stay on that pace or faster. And then my husband just kind of called out the times and told me if I was ahead. And each round I was just gaining a little more time. So then at that point I knew I could hit 13 rounds. And then I tried to go all out in the last minute, but there was really not an all-out mode at that point.
So was that pace just perfect, or at some time in that long 20 minutes when he called out the time, you were like, this is not sustainable?
I think I stayed right around a 1:30 pace the whole time, so I think I strategized it pretty well.
I would say you absolutely nailed it. So for anyone new to the sport, when you came on scene at the Games in 2014, you had an absolute banner year. We're talking, you participated in a head-to-head open announcement, you took 6th place at the Games, made it to the invitational team, just fantastic. A lot of eyes looking at you going into 2015. You make it back to the Games, slip from 6th place at the Games to 24th place. With some reflection on last year, do you feel that number 24 is very well representative of how, your level of fitness at the time?
No, not necessarily. I felt really prepared going into last year, and just kind of got crushed at the Games, made a few maybe strategic, or really only one strategic error that kind of cost me the rest of the weekend. And I did what I could to stay in it, and I was proud of finishing it out, but I really was not happy with 24th. And I think I've gotten maybe a little bit of redemption in some off-season competitions, but really the big shows where you want to really redeem yourself.
Well, you've piqued my interest. What was the one strategic mistake or error?
When all the workouts were released at the time, I knew that I really wanted to do well in Murph, because the only other workouts that had been released at that time were like a max clean and jerk, which doesn't necessarily favor me. And we had come off the sandbag workout where, right, obviously it didn't favor the shorter athlete. So I did go all out in Murph, and it really cost me in terms of just my body couldn't handle it.
I think a lot of people found themselves in that same boat. So that's 2015.
Yeah, so I guess in hindsight, I just would have slowed down a little bit and paced that one in order to, because the workouts after that I actually really liked. I just couldn't do what I wanted to do.
Well, 2016 is off with a bang for you so far. Looking at the season as a whole in its totality, what do you need to do this year for you to consider it a successful season?
I'm trying not to put the same pressure on myself as in previous years. Coming off of 2014, I felt like it was huge hype, like I had this dream year and Emily Bridgers could win the Games. And I would be lying if I said that. I mean, part of my motivation for doing this is knowing that I could be the best in the world at this.
Sure.
And that's really cool. And that's part of what keeps me going in the gym every day. But I would be happy with improving on how I've done in the Games in the past. So I think a top 5 finish is my main goal this year.
Well, I mean, I think that's something that a lot of us as viewers at home don't understand. We do workouts every day in the gym, but we don't know the pressure that you all feel from doing interviews like this. Everyone sees, there can be a bullseye on your back. So that's a whole side of the of the coin that you guys have to deal with, and we appreciate
Yeah.
the effort you put into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy to say I want to win the games. I think we all want to win the games, but we know that so many factors go into it. So I don't want to make some bold statement like I'm going to win the games this year. But
But
I
hey,
think we know that's what we're trading for.
absolutely, we wouldn't want it any other way. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much, and we wish you nothing but the best this year.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That was Emily Bridgers. I think she has an amazing shot of not only going back to the games for a third time, but finishing much higher on the leaderboard. She's on top after 16.1. Keep your eye on her.